This changes everything for the Toronto Raptors. The team has been playing better as of late. We can see Darko Rajakovic's system be starting to get a bit more maximized with the new looked roster, the players we have out there on the court, and the games have been more fun to watch. However, in tonight's game against the Golden State Warriors, while the first half looked really good, and whether or not we would have won, we would have lost if this didn't happen, but Scotty Barnes ended up going down with injury. And this could really change everything for the Raptors sort of rest of the season, because we saw it as soon as he went out of the lineup, and the Raptors have struggled in the third quarters and second half, so I'm not saying that this would have been a guaranteed win regardless, but without Scotty Barnes in that lineup, this team is built around Scotty Barnes. It is clear the offense in particular looked extremely stagnant, and it looked like there was a missing piece. It looked like this team wasn't completely whole. And when you have a younger team that is still, not even just the players are developing and stuff, but this roster hasn't come fully into form. We're still in a transitional period with how this roster is going to look, so we could be built up to handle a potential Scotty Barnes going down with injury. But right now, with the Raptors' current situation, even though it looked like things may have been going right, even though it looked like things may have been turning around, we'd be able to make a play and push. This does really affect the Raptors' chances. If this is a long-term injury to Scotty Barnes' hand, or even just a significant one that keeps him out a couple of weeks, with just a month and a bit of change left to go in the season, it is going to be tough. So we're going to break down what this means to the Toronto Raptors, what happened in this game, and some other takeaways, because even whether or not we win, we lose, this Raptors team is young and it's developing. So there's always some positives, or at least the in-game stuff can be taken away as positives, for how this team is growing and coming into its own for, potentially a better run next season. So before we dive into that, folks, again, we are very, very close to 34,000 subscribers. So it would mean the world to me if you guys could hit that subscribe button. But let's dive into what's going on right now, because the Toronto Raptors, again, looked really good in that first half. The Golden State Warriors are a team that has been rolling, and they had some guys playing well out there on Golden State. I mean, John Kuminga, coming off the trade rumors and all the chatter, even getting linked to a bunch of Toronto trade rumors. He's been playing a lot better as of late, had 24 points in tonight's game. Curry always shows up against the Raptors, 25. Even Moody had himself a really strong performance. Clay in the starting lineup again was knocking down some shots. The Warriors have been playing better as of late. Chris Paul's back in the lineup, and then even though Andrew Wiggins is out, even though their rookie, his name is slipping my brain here now at this point, that has been playing well, wasn't in the lineup, and even though the broadcast, as they mentioned a trillion times, the Warriors came in on a 7 a.m. red-eye flight. I don't even know what to call it, but they weren't sleeping. They had an early sort of ride. The sleep schedules were all messed up with the Golden State Warriors. They came out and played really well, and despite that fact, the Toronto Raptors in the first half played really, really solid. Scotty Barnes was doing his thing. He was getting some buckets, and 10 points in the first half, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He's been doing a good job of being the centerpiece of the offense. Even knocked down a couple threes where he's been struggling there as of late, and things look good. The team sort of made sense how they were playing. It looked like we'd have a good game, in the second half, but obviously went down with a hand injury. He's dealing with hand stuff the entire game. It looked like he got his right hand knocked a couple times, smacked it off the rim, caught it all weird on a pass, but the left hand ended up being the thing that got injured when he basically got kicked or hit a leg from one of the Golden State Warriors players. And then, hands, even though they're always tough and stuff, in basketball, they get hit the wrong way. It's pretty easy for something to go awry and something to happen there. So we're just hoping, we're praying that Scotty Barnes isn't dealing with something that's a significant injury. It's a long-term type of thing, because it would suck. Regardless of if we win, lose, draw the rest of our games this season, having Scotty Barnes just be out there with this core group, build up some chemistry with the Grady Dicks of the world, Emmanuel Quickley's, the RJ Barretts, that's going to feed in really well to next season. So it sucks that he might be out with a significant injury. We're not sure. He left the game. He immediately went to the locker room. So hopefully everything is fine regarding Scotty Barnes. But if he's going to be out, that is bad, bad news for the Toronto Raptors in terms of hopes of, keeping things watchable, keeping things fun for the second half, for the last quarter of the season. I mean, everyone's talked about the tank, bringing on the tank, and I think some people in the comment section when I say tank, I'm not saying the Raptors are actively out there throwing games. That's not what I'm trying to communicate by the tank. But it means we're going to lean into younger players. It means we're going to give more opportunities to the younger guys on this roster without the hopes of, well, obviously we're going to try to hope to win the individual games, but the main priority is on development. So guys like Bruce Brown, guys that, in the future of this team, there's question marks about it. Maybe their minutes get taken back a little bit because, again, Bruce Brown, the more I watch like his off the court stuff, the more I'm becoming a fan of him. He seems like a really cool guy. Seems to having a fun time with the Toronto Raptors, even though it's probably not the ideal destination for him. And at this point in his career, coming off a championship and his specific role, specific fit and stuff, but he's getting a lot of minutes for this Raptors group and just hasn't been playing well as of late. Very 23 minutes, 2-5 from the field, 4 points. Played some solid defense. I'll give him credit there, but is not. His skill set is not what's going to maximize. The Raptors right now aren't the specific team that's best for Bruce Brown. And the fit is just clearly not there. So when I say tank, even though Bruce Brown's a veteran, even though he could help with winning and stuff, you just brought in a guy like Javon Freeman Liberty. Like, bringing him in on a full-time roster spot, playing similar positions, I wouldn't mind seeing him get some extra run at the second half of this year to really, blossom and see what he could do. If he deserves to be a key piece, deserves to be a guy that's a focal point in terms of the Raptors bench going into next year, I think he should be getting some run. And heck, even our 10-day, right, Carton coming off the bench, even though it was only 5 minutes, 6 minutes, DJ Carton, he played 5 real minutes of actual basketball. It wasn't garbage time, the 5 minutes that he ended up getting. He had 1 minute at the very end. Had 5 points, knocked down a 3, had a couple nice passes, had a nice lob to Grady Dick. I mean, DJ Carton's a guy that impressed me with his actual sort of 5 minutes of rotation run. Again, a -9 there, which might be a little bit discouraging, but I thought he was good. Even Abaji, who I think is a guy that has a ton of potential. 2 points, 1 of 3, but only played 9 minutes in this game. The Raptors have a ton of players that play that similar sort of role. So if Scotty Barnes is out, if Scotty Barnes is out of there, I mean, does it really make sense to be leaning into Bruce Brown? Maybe we say we shut him down. I don't know what the approach is. I don't know what the right deal, what the thing that makes the most sense, but I wouldn't mind Freeman Liberty. I wouldn't mind Carton. I wouldn't mind Wara. I wouldn't mind any of these dudes getting some more opportunity, some more run at the second or the late second half, the last quarter of this season. So that's just my kind of take. If Scotty Barnes is gone, then that approach should probably be shifted, even though some would argue that's the case. Anyways, it should be shifted. But, in terms of the starters, Pirtle had a solid game, 14 rebounds, 10 points. The one thing about Pirtle is he doesn't have a crazy, post bag. He's a good touch around the rim and stuff, but there are a few times he had the height advantage on a few guys on the Warriors sort of spot. He's good at catching. He's good at finishing around the basket, but he's not going to have elite footwork and get a bunch of post moves over when he has the height advantage on different guys. So that's one thing that I wouldn't mind him just adding to his game a little bit more, but the rebounding was huge. And when he was out of the lineup, the Raptors' rebounding went to complete trash. And Kelly Olynyk off the bench, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Overall, just a really well-rounded game from him. But when it was him and surprising the lineup with Boucher, because obviously Boucher is a guy that's known for energy. You say he's motivated, coming in, had the afro going, a new haircut coming into this game. I mean, that lineup, I figure, would be able to hold its own, but especially in that third quarter, the Raptors were absolutely dominated on the glass. And it's just, it's not Kelly Olynyk's main sort of, you look at him, you're not going to say that's your number one skill. Obviously, it's the facilitating, the playmaking, the shooting, and he's still a big body. I think he's not ever going to be accused of being an elite defender, but I think he is decent positionally, generally decent. I had 10 rebounds in this game, but you have Kevin Looney, Draymond Green, all these guys kind of hustling out there. The Raptors got cooked a little bit on the boards, and I don't think it's just a necessarily, indictment on Boucher, on Kelly Olynyk sort of rebounding, but that is one thing that had a massive impact in terms of, changing the tempo, changing the direction of this game, even though I thought Pirtle and Kelly had a decent performance in this one. Gary Trent Jr., he's 1 of 7 from the 3-point line tonight, 9 points. The inconsistency, it just comes with NBA shooters and stuff, but Gary's trying to play himself into some minutes. The thing I do like is, or play himself into a new solid contract, whether it's with the Raptors, whether it's not. I do like the energy he's bringing on the defensive end. Once again, it's a common theme. This game, maybe not as elite as the Trae Young performance, and I forget who he played a couple nights, the Halliburton stuff, but still, I like the energy that he's providing, but offensively, we're going to need more shots hit by Gary Trent Jr., especially if Scottie Barnes goes out. RJ Barrett's a beast. 23 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. The one positive that we could maybe take away from Scotty Barnes going out is seeing how RJ Barrett is as the focal point, as the centerpiece of the offense, because he's been a beast for the Toronto Raptors. Looked amazing again tonight. All credit to RJ Barrett. 9-16. He's been efficient. He's shooting his threes. Made 3 or 4 of his free throws, which is good. His free throws have been down a little bit. So that is what it is. And Emmanuel Quickly, I thought you did a good job facilitating 11 assists in tonight's game, but rushed a few shots, 3 turnovers. But a couple of his plays, a couple of shots seemed a little bit, there's a difference between playing fast and playing rush. Tonight, IQ looked a little bit rushed in tonight's game. So that's something, again, it comes with young guards. It comes with, you're going up against Steph Curry. You're going up against Chris Paul, 2 legends in them, 2 of the best point guards of all time. Obviously, not 1 and 2, but 2 top 5, top 6 point guards of all time, without a doubt. So IQ, I get the sort of pressure being on, but it comes with a younger guard being handed the reins. But off the bench of the Toronto Raptors, again, I spoke on Carton. Boucher didn't do a whole lot in his short run of minutes, but Grady Dick, loving what I'm seeing from Grady Dick. 12 points again tonight, 3 assists, bringing the hustle, 2 rebounds, 1 steal. Hit some middies, made some nice drives, had a little reverse dunk, which is great to see. I don't know. Grady Dick has just continued to impress me, and going up against a Klay Thompson, it's there's lots of comparisons, lots of graphics going up with those 2 guys. Hopefully, Grady Dick can become a Klay Thompson-esque player. But let me know what you guys think about all this Toronto Raptors news. Again, apologize if I sound weird, sick, so how it goes. But folks, you guys best make this far. Subscribe to the channel. I'm signing out. Cheers.